I want to tell you about a way that I learned how to gamify my life to overcome the analysis paralysis of ADHD and achieve things and accomplish things that I've been wanting to do. It took me a long time, but I want to impart these lessons to you so you can get started on the things you want to do in your life. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. I was diagnosed with ADHD about 12 years ago. ADHD is, for those who don't know, attention deficit disorder or attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. It's sort of a mental condition, a way of being in this world where you have a hard time focusing on one thing at a time. You might have issues of executive decision making, which is where you have a hard time deciding on one thing out of several ideas, where you might have time blindness, where you don't always know how long something's going to take. So you end up being late to a lot of things, or you end up starting things at the last minute. And it makes sense. I was always kind of scatterbrained and always running late and all these things my whole life. So the diagnosis definitely made sense. And there are other symptoms and ways that they determine the diagnosis when you go to a doctor. Now, this is not a video for medical advice. This is not a video for psychiatric advice. This is just a video about my personal experiences. So if you have any kind of symptoms or any kind of health issues, mental health or physical health, please go see a doctor or a psychiatrist or a professional. I am not a professional in any of those fields, so I just want to share my experience. As a lot of people with ADHD might agree with, some of the things that work for someone like me are where I have a kind of structure, where I have a time limit or a deadline or some parameters that I am given that I have to follow or that I have to abide by in order to achieve a goal, in order to complete a project. And so these kinds of challenges where I am given a challenge to finish something by a certain time or finish something by certain parameters, that really works for me. And it helps me focus, which is something that is difficult for people with ADHD. And one thing I've discovered is that it establishes a kind of trust in myself when I'm able to fulfill a challenge or meet a deadline or complete something. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling afterwards. But it's not something I can always achieve if I don't have certain parameters or structure around the thing that I have to do. For example, if you give me a blank page and just tell me to write something, it's a lot harder for me to do that versus if you say, okay, write a 200-word product description for this particular shampoo or something by 5 o'clock. That kind of would give me more of a structure. Then I could focus on that particular product. And if I knew more, for example, this is for a teen magazine, do copywriting, whatever, teen magazine, or this is for moms to be, or this is a vegan shampoo. So I have to stay within those parameters, right? And that actually helps me. And I think most people would agree that having parameters, having limits, having structure, having deadlines definitely helps. So if you are someone with ADHD, you might have a hard time making those decisions for yourself. It's called executive function issues. It's kind of like if there's someone you know, a friend or someone you know, who has all these great ideas and they're talking about these ideas with you, but they never actually implement them or they're not able to manage themselves in long enough to put those ideas into execution. After a while, you might start to look at them like, okay, this person's always just talking. They don't actually want to do the thing that they're talking about. That you might lose respect for them. You might not trust them anymore. You might feel like uncomfortable around them because they always have these great ideas and they want you to kind of validate them, but they're not showing up with the thing that they're saying that they're going to do, right? That happens in relationships, but that also happens in yourself. When I'm not able to achieve things, but I have all these great ideas, that ends up creating a lack of trust in myself. That is something that I realized is the thing I have to break. Because when I do achieve something, when I do accomplish something, it feels great. And then I'm able to have a certain level of confidence that I can accomplish the next thing. But it's the building of that, and especially if it breaks down, how do you rebuild that trust in yourself, right? Or if you've never really had it, how do you start that? That was the challenge. That was the thing that I wasn't sure how to do. And then when I went back to university in my 30s, I realized the structure of deadlines, syllabus in the classroom, things like that, or assignments that I was given was actually helpful for me. So I ended up seeking that out in other aspects, in other places. I took some other courses like writing classes and things like that, and those were good, but I preferred it, any kind of learning environment where I was given a challenge to actually achieve something by a certain time period, like homework, like an assignment. But as you get older, you can't really do homework in the same way. You might still have to if you're taking a master's class or something, post grad, but I had to learn how to do that for myself. So I think that what achieving a goal in this way does for me is it helps me build trust in myself and build what I call self integrity, which is a sense of integrity to myself, a sense of, oh my God, I can actually do the thing that I want to do, which is for ADHD people is kind of a big deal. Now, the trick with these challenges that I set up for myself is that they have to be just outside my comfort zone. They shouldn't be too far outside my comfort zone, but they should be just outside my comfort zone. So they should be just a little bit more than what I'm doing now. That's the key. If you set yourself up for a challenge that is too far ahead of what you can do right now with what you have, where you are, that's not a good idea because you're going to end up not necessarily fulfilling the challenge and it's actually going to backfire on the whole thing we're trying to achieve here. So you want to take baby steps. So for example, for a long time, I was not able to join a gym and I didn't have the mental strength to be able to go outside. The weather sucked and all that. So I started working out at home and I learned calisthenics and working with my body weight and I started exercising in my bedroom. And I was able to do that, but I maintained a certain schedule. I said, I'm going to do this 5 days a week. Every day before I eat anything, I'm going to do that when I first wake up. And being able to keep that schedule is what helped me get to the next level where I was able to join martial arts and then a gym and all of these things. But in the beginning, I didn't say, I'm going to go join martial arts and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do. No, at first I said, I'm going to start with where I am. I have a little bit of space in my room. I have a little bit of time when I first wake up and I'm going to do it then. So I did that. I did push-ups and squats and things like that. And it helped. It actually helped because it's the consistency, right? So I'm going to go over 10 steps that I use when I'm setting up a challenge for myself. I hope that it helps you. I'm going to write it out for you so that you can see the steps in front of you. So let's get started. So let's get into what I'm calling Kieran's 10-step challenge method. Step number 1, pick one area of life. We can always repeat this whole process for other areas of life, but at first I want you to start with just one area. It could be health, wealth, finances, education, self-care, skincare, mental health, almost anything, a new hobby, a new business you're starting. Step 2, choose one activity that you can do realistically within this area of life. So if it's health, it may be that you are going to start to work out in whatever area that you can, at home or outside. Maybe you're going to start walking every day, right? One activity that you could do if you are able to walk. Then step 3 is to decide on a time period. Now, this is important because we are trying to build habits here. We're trying to create a new way for you to live and change the activity that you incorporate into that area of life. Let me give you an example. I wanted to start a new YouTube channel on self-development, spirituality, and creativity. This channel, Sweet Infinity. That was the area of life I wanted to focus on. The activity I chose was creating tarot and oracle reading videos where I pick one card or more and interpret the cards, go over the artwork, all of that. That was the activity. And then I decided on a time period to be 30 days, every day for 30 days. So that was my time period. So you need to pick an area of life, an activity that you could realistically do in that area of life, and a time period that you want to give to yourself. I recommend that this time period be at least 30 days. More if you can challenge yourself for a longer period of time. For example, I did a challenge to write one short story per week for 1 year. This was through a challenge with Dean Wesley Smith, who is a writer and teacher based in Las Vegas. And I signed up for the 1 year, one story per week challenge. And I wrote a new short story every week and sent it to him for a year. And it was an amazing experience because I got to learn so much about how to write, and I had to stick to my deadline, the time period that I had. And I learned about how to craft stories in that time period. And it was a great experience. So these 3 things are very important. Step 4 is to select an audience. So when you were young and you were in school, your audience were your teachers, maybe your peers in your classroom. And these were the people who you had to be accountable to for assignments, for homework, for projects, class projects. Now, as we get older, we usually don't have that kind of an environment, that kind of structure. But it can be very helpful to have an audience. It could be your family, your partner, your kids, your parents, your siblings, people on your social media, friends, coworkers, anyone who you have some kind of understanding with and who you know would be rooting for you. That should be the audience that you select. It should be also somebody who would be willing to be your audience. My audience, in the case of my 30-day tarot card challenge, was you guys, people watching this channel. I also shared the channel with family and friends, so a bunch of them also followed and encouraged me along the way. But it's very important to have an audience. This whole challenge is not something you should do just in your own head or just by yourself. It's very important to have an audience because that allows it to be something that you are feeling accountable to somebody else, that somebody is waiting for you to deliver something. That's a very important part of this challenge. Step 5 is to deliver and declare. These 2 things have to be done at the same time. This is the first iteration or the first time that you do something that is going to be in your challenge. So you're going to be repeating something for 30 days or more. And the first time that you complete it, you're going to deliver that to your audience and you're going to declare that this is now your challenge. So the way I did it, I made my first video, my first tarot reading video, and in it I declared that I was doing a 30-day challenge. So when I sent that video around and shared it with my family and friends and posted it on YouTube, it was already there. I was committed because I had delivered the first piece that showed that I can do at least one. And I had declared to the world or to the audience that was watching that I was going to do this challenge. Now I had to be held to my word. There's a power in that you are now being held accountable. You are not just thinking about this in your head. You're not just dreaming daydreams. You are being held accountable, and you have shown that you can already do it by delivering at least one part of it, the first installation. Okay? Next step, 6. Start the next installment of the challenge, whatever it is. So in my case, I was making videos. As soon as I delivered or published the first one, I declared in it that I was doing this challenge. I immediately got to work recording the next one, or at least planning it and figuring out how I want to do it and what I want to do differently, because each time you do it, you'll probably do a slightly better job. You'll probably improve things, tweak things here and there. That's okay. That's normal. That's how it should be. So step 6, start your next installment as soon as you've delivered and declared that you are doing this challenge. Step 7, batch things together. So that means parts of whatever it is that you're doing, some steps you could probably do together. You could do several versions of them together. For example, if your thing is that you're going to make soap for the next 30 days, maybe you're going to do 1 bar a day or 1 loaf a day or whatever it is. There might be steps that you can repeat. You can create the base for several batches at the same time, or you could work out how to do the cutting of the soap at the same time once you have all of them set up and dried and everything. So there are parts of the process, whatever it is that you're doing, that can usually be done ahead of time or in batches with other parts of the process for other iterations of the same thing. When I was making the videos, I was making YouTube thumbnails for several videos at a time because I was up here in Canva and I was just make 3 or 4 of them at the same time. So that's what I mean, is that you can do certain parts of the process at the same time and learn to streamline your work that way. Step 8 is to finish the challenge. So you're going to be repeating these steps that we just had between number 6, 7, 8. So we're going to start every installment. We're going to batch things. We're going to do things together that we can. And then we're going to keep repeating those steps until we finish the challenge. So this is very important. We want to finish the challenge. And that's why I said in the previous steps that you have to pick something that's realistic, just one area of life, just one activity, time period that's realistic, ideally 30 days or more. And you have to select an audience of people who are going to be rooting for you. And then if you've done all that, then you should be able to deliver and declare to them that you're doing this. Start each installment, the next one and the next one and the next one, batch things together as much as possible and complete the challenge. Now, if you were to slack off or not be able to do something, that's okay. Get back on the horse right away. That's very important. And if you batch things together, you should be able to plan ahead. By that, I mean, you should be able to do things early on so that on a day where you might not be feeling so great, you already have stuff saved that you could just release, because it's very important to keep delivering, right? Because now you're committed. Still have a couple of steps to go. So step 9, after you have even completed the challenge, is to celebrate yourself. Celebrate this amazing accomplishment. You set yourself up for a challenge, something that you hadn't achieved before, and then you followed through and you did it. That's a pretty big deal. Give yourself a hug. Go get yourself some ice cream, whatever it is that you don't normally do or that you don't let yourself do because, it's only for special occasions. Go do that. Take a bath, take a day at the spa, whatever it is. Do something to really celebrate yourself the way that you would for your kid or your sister or your brother. Do something like that for yourself. Celebrate yourself. Really do. Because that helps build that sense of accomplishment, the sense of trust, the sense of integrity in your own self. And finally, last but not least, start a new challenge. Because now you're going to be into this. You're going to be like, wow, I can actually do these things. I can actually do whatever I put myself up to. So make sure you keep those things in mind about being realistic and stepping out of your comfort zone, but not too far out, slowly. Because now if you've achieved all this, your comfort zone has expanded. So their next challenge can be a little bit more ambitious, a little bit more than you could do before. That's the beauty of getting yourself through these challenges one after another after another. Finally, I have some bonus tips for you. Start small. That's so important. I have said it over and over before, but I will repeat it once again. Very important to start small. Very important to start with baby steps. Baby steps. It's a lot easier for your brain and your neural pathways to reconfigure themselves if you do it very slowly. If you want to change a habit, do it slowly. If you want to add something new to your life or take something away, do it slowly. If you are eating unhealthy, eating fast food, find a way to start small. I'm going to not eat fast food for 30 days, or I'm only going to get salads, even at the fast food place, right? Whatever it is, start small. Don't push yourself to the point where you end up just dreading the whole thing. It should be something you kind of challenge yourself, like gamify it. Like, can I do this? I can do this, right? It's a challenge, It's something that should be fun. It should be a little bit of a fun thing, like a friendly competition with yourself. Next tip, plan ahead. My dad used to say, plan ahead, it'll prove you have one. Plan ahead means really think about what it is that you are going to try to achieve. Now, this whole challenge should be something that will take you to the place where you will be able to get to the next level, upgrade that aspect of your life, even in small ways, right? Small ways. Because small things lead to big things. A house is built of small bricks. Well, I don't know what houses are built of these days, but you know what I mean. So plan ahead, the challenge itself, and see how this particular activity and this particular challenge will fit into the larger area of life, and how this challenge and subsequent challenges will upgrade that area of life for you. Whether it's going to the gym more often, whether it's doing something that changes your habit and makes you more healthy, eating in a different way, whether it's producing content for YouTube or other places where you are posting things, whether it's creating some kind of product that will help you build a business on the side. Whatever it is, plan it ahead. Next bonus tip, write nightly to-do list for the next day. This is something that has been very helpful for me because I have something where I wake up in the morning and I'm basically an amnesiac. I don't remember what I was doing the last night. And it comes back to me, but usually I wake up sort of having my brain reset. And it's really helpful for me to have a nightly to-do list for the next day. It's like I wake up prepared and ready. My brain is primed to do the thing, whatever the next step is in this challenge or in other aspects. But especially with this challenge, you will probably be rolling over the work that you have to do. So it's a good idea to plan the night before what you're going to do the next day. And the final bonus tip, give yourself pep talks. So, of course, you should celebrate the end of the completion of the challenge. But throughout the process, as you go through different steps, as you go achieve little milestones and figure out how to do things differently. Like when I tweaked the lights and figured out how to do the lights behind me here, give yourself a pep talk, give yourself a little boost, give yourself a little encouragement, like you would with somebody who's a friend of yours or somebody you care about, right? Because we don't always do this for ourselves. And we should. Now you can stand in front of a mirror and repeat, I'm doing amazing. I'm going to finish this challenge. I did this one thing and now I'm going to do another thing. It's okay to do that for yourself, just like you would for someone else that you are trying to encourage. So this is the 10-step challenge method, as I call it. And I hope that this has been helpful for you. I'm also going to be putting a link in the description to this video where you can get these steps written out for free so that you can follow the steps along for yourself. I hope that you are able to challenge yourself and gamify the aspects of your life that you need a little bit of help figuring out how to get started or how to get going and how to get back on the saddle again. Come back. I will do another video for you next week. I'm going to be doing Monday meditation videos every Monday. I posted one this past week as well, and I will also be doing tarot card readings and oracle readings at least once a week, possibly twice. I'm still working out the schedule, and on Fridays will be a free form, usually a vlog like this. So I hope that you will subscribe and thumbs up, like this video, and come back again. Leave me a comment. Tell me what kind of challenge you are going to take on, what kind of aspect of life you're going to upgrade and improve in your life. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.